Hi, this is Colette Summerland, and I'm here today to discuss with you the top 10 plus signs that your loved ones are visiting you. But before I do, I would just like to thank you for subscribing for those who are my subscribers. And if not, please feel free to subscribe and click the icon button at the bottom so that you can get updates to all of my videos and happenings, okay? Currently, I'm working on some projects that I will let you know about. If you're interested, please feel free to visit my website. All right, so here we go. There are so many signs. There's a lot more than just 10. That's why I named this 10 plus signs that your loved ones are visiting you. Yes, they are. And this is pretty good too for people who want to know what's going on. You know, once a person passes away, are they really dead and gone and buried, or are they really still here with us? Well, I'm here to tell you, and I know because I've had proof of my own making that, and what I mean by that is that I have given readings as well as received readings, and so I know without a doubt that they are still here with us, but they're just on the spiritual plane instead of the physical plane, if you will. Now, a lot of times they come through in dreams. Getting right to this, I've had loved ones come to me many times in dreams. Well, you might say, well, why are they coming to me in dreams? In the dream state, we are often a lot more receptive and open and able to receive the energy because we don't have all the stuff going on in our heads of the day. We're not busy doing one thing or doing something else. So we are more focused on, when we go to sleep at night, we're sort of in that state of, being in the physical world, if you will, and the spirit world. So it's easier to connect, easier to relay messages to you, easier. And oftentimes they'll just come through just to say hello and that they love you and they let you know that they're okay. So oftentimes if you've been worried or concerned about that and you find that you're having dream visitation or dream visitations, which I also like to call visions, but to me, visions is a two-part thing because I'm clairvoyant also, but we are all gifted. So it's potentially, a thing for you too to have visions, which is another thing. You can have visions and dreams, but you can also have them and connect with your loved ones and know that they're around in spirit, because if you're a meditator and you're doing meditation and they're showing themselves to you in the meditation, they find that that's a great way to connect with you, letting you know that they're okay on the other side of life, I like to call it. We say deceased, but they really aren't deceased. They're still around us and very much alive, okay? Also, another sign would be if you are driving in your car, excuse me, or you're listening to some music, on someone's phone or somewhere, and you keep hearing the same song repetitively, something that they enjoyed or enjoyed with you, it's their favorite song, then you know that they're just trying to say hello, they want to say hi, that they're okay and everything. Also, that's just one of the symbols. There's so many more I'll be mentioning to you here, to let you know, perhaps you've had also a special song with them, and you keep hearing it everywhere you go. You go into the market, you hear the song. You go to your car, you turn on the radio, you hear the song. You go and visit a friend, and the song comes on their television, or you hear it on their iPad or whatever. And those are just some other ways as well. And it's repetitive. That's how you know when you keep it's over and over and over again. You know that they're just trying to get through to you to say hi. Also, coins. You find coins lying around. Sometimes the years can be significant, and other times the coins are just a symbolism. I don't know if you've heard of that movie, Pennies from Heaven, but it can be dimes and nickels and all that as well. It doesn't have to be pennies. But it's the easiest to get your attention is with pennies. You see pennies a lot, often in, at a specific time period, sometimes all the time, but in a specific time period. Just know that that's your loved one, especially if you've been thinking about them a lot, then you'll know which one it is. And sometimes you can even perhaps feel, if you're clairsentient, you can feel the presence of them around. And at the same time, that's a big bonus when things are happening and you feel the sense and sense that they're around. Also, feathers. They'll leave feathers. Sometimes you don't usually see feathers, and then all of a sudden you're seeing these feathers, especially if there's some significance. Maybe they smudged a lot with a feather, or they, love feather earrings, or something about feathers, or colored feathers, and you keep seeing these feathers. That's another sign. Now, a lot of these signs don't have to happen, later on down the line. They can happen right after they're passing as well. They're just letting you know that they're okay, and they want you to be in peace, in comfort, and that they're there for you. I know one instance that I'll mention that I've had, and I still get it sometimes. Cans in the grocery store coming off the shelf, rolling down the aisle, tortillas falling off the shelf. And the first time my husband saw it, he kind of freaked out. But it's kind of funny to me because I knew and I felt exactly who that was doing these things. And no one else was around. And there's no way that a can could just suddenly hop off a shelf by itself, of course, unless it's from spirit, right? And roll down an aisle. And, I've seen bread come off the shelf. And it's just, there's so many symbols for me with bread. And so I realized, and tortillas, and so I realized, yes, this is definitely a sign from loved one that I think about very often. Also, you can see rainbows. You see a lot of rainbows, not just outdoors, but all of a sudden, if there's a reference of rainbows with them that harmonize, and all of a sudden you go and you look at a book, there's rainbows. You go and you see a billboard, and there's rainbows. Just different references to that, then you know that they are around you, trying to let you know that they are at peace. And also, they want to bring sunshine to your life. Because, as they say, there is usually, a rainbow after the rain. And then comes the sunlight, and they're just trying to bring that sunlight out to you and let you know that all is well. Okay? And in our world, their world, all of this. Butterflies. I get butterflies too. There are specific times I know when my grandmother's around, and I'll see white butterflies, yellow butterflies, and monarch butterflies. And they have specific meaning to me when I see certain butterflies that I know who's around. Okay, so it's very important to pay attention to the signs if you can. Birds. Birds are another great sign. I had the pleasure of hearing about this at the time, so maybe to me many years ago, but I still love the story. I had a mentor many years ago, and he passed away, and we were told about the details of his funeral. And one of the things that came about, all of a sudden, all of these white birds were flying around at the funeral outdoors. And it was such a beautiful scene, I was told, that it was really, I'm thinking that that's a sign from him. He's letting you know, hey, all is well. And it may mean different things to different people. It just depends. But because I knew him, that was kind of like a feeling that I got that, yes, it was, sign from heaven, sign from him saying, yes, all is well, everything's okay with me. I'm doing just fine here. Also, another one that I'd like to share with you is, and this has happened, I've heard this too, people will yell out a name. You could be any place, walking around, and I've even heard it, across the street from a house I used to live in, and this lady would yell out, Michael, get in here, Michael. But you could just go someplace else, and all of a sudden you hear Michael again. Hey, Michael, come here, Michael. That type of thing. I.e., example. You keep. You might go someplace. You open your phone. You'll see something about Archangel Michael. A friend may want to share something with you, and the name Michael's in that book, or on that video, or whatever it is. And it's a repetitive thing. That's how you know they're trying to get your attention. It's constantly repetitive. And it's such a joy because you just know. And you know that you know, and you can feel it after it happens so many times. Also, animals, you know, especially if there is a dog or a cat, especially, like dogs, you'll notice you can run a dog that's, very similar to the one that the deceased loved one had, and they start barking radically and stuff, and, you know, they're just doing things that the owner would probably say they usually don't do, and they're jumping up and down, And it's also a good sign too that because our dogs are loved ones also, that it's definitely spirit saying hello. It can also be the owner saying, hey, I'm here with the dog. And if you keep seeing repetitive signs like that, more and more, then you'll know. Sometimes you have to pay close attention though, because sometimes we can be like thinking about other things and not noticing. And I've done this before, and then retrospectively thought back in my mind, oh yeah, I remember now, I did see that. And so that's another one. They may show symbols of all sorts of things of their interest. Specifics, like, you may see numbers on the clock. If they followed angel numbers, for example. I love angel numbers. You see 1111, you see 1212, or like, for example, if someone's birthday pops up and it's, the date that's, available on the clock, and you're always seeing that, that's a sign. Just like when you see 111 or 1111, that's a sign that they're around and they have a message for you. If this is something that is consistent with when you get signs from them, all the best, because then 100% it's them. Another thing, billboards are really great for this because, it's just amazing. One of the thoughts you probably have is, oh, that's impossible. But, you got to keep an open mind, because I've seen things on billboards that, equated with, songs that I've heard, like from a relative that passed away, and then I hear the song one place and I go someplace else and I hear the song, and it's really exciting. Not just songs, but all types of things. Maybe they really love sci-fi, and everywhere you go, you see sci-fi, signs of sci-fi, which is really pretty good. It's really pretty cool. One of the ones that come through a lot for me, and they know better because they know that I can pick up signs, but it's fun because it's kind of like a game for me, and I think that's why they do it. Television and movie credits. Oh yeah. You see the credits rolling, and especially an unusual name will pop up that you usually don't see or hear every day, and all of a sudden it's in the credits of that movie rolls through. And then you may go and put on something else to watch or listen to some music, whatever it is. But you may watch something else, and then those credits roll. And then sometimes this happens like 3 nights in a row for me, and it's really amazing when you get that feeling like, oh yeah, my grandmother's here, or my, stepdad, or whoever is here for me, and they're relaying this message, and sometimes I can kind of equate it to the name of the movie, and I go, oh yeah, that's exactly what it's all about, people. I mean, I don't mean people in a bad way, but it's really what it's all about. We have to pay close attention. I'll give you another example. I have an uncle that comes in sometimes, and he'll show himself different ways. He was a cigar smoker, okay? And we don't smoke cigars here. We don't even smoke cigarettes. We don't even allow any type of cigarettes in our home. We don't even barbecue, so it's not anything like that because we're vegan here. So there's no sign of smoking or smoke at all, okay? There's a lot of the stuff we have is plant-based. Anyway, getting back to what I'm saying, he smokes cigars. And when I'm sitting in the living room sometimes, and sometimes another part of the house, but almost always in the living room, I'll smell that smoke. It'll smell that same cigar smoke that when he smokes a cigar, I know he's around just saying hello in heaven. So that's another reason why it's important to not only pay attention to your vision, but pay attention to all your senses. Anything that you may hear, you may, see, you may smell, and, just all of these wonderful things. Sometimes touch. And it's something like consistent that they would do. That's all you have to remember that will get your attention. Sometimes they'll get your attention through some things that you enjoy, and somehow their name is implemented in it. For example, if someone's a basketball player and they're new to a team, or you're watching a basketball game in person, or it could be on television, or both, and the last name of the person that passed might be Jones, and all of a sudden you're seeing Jones, and you go to one of the games, it's Jones. You see it on television, or it's Jones. You hear about it on the radio, it's Jones. And you may constantly, have many encounters. You'll go someplace and you'll have to perhaps fill out an application or see a doctor, and they'll say, Mrs. Jones, you're next, and you're not Mrs. Jones, and you keep hearing the name repetitively, or maybe the doctor's assistant is Jones. I mean, there's just so many ways you can get signs from them, and that you know that they're surefire signs by simply paying attention. You'll know that their presence is there. I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, cognate, and gustus, and all of those things. But you don't have to be a psychic expert to be able to pick up on these things. I'll give you an example. You could be thinking about your grandmother, and all of a sudden, or someone's mentioning your grandmother, or you're looking through a photo album and you're looking at pictures of your grandparents, and all of a sudden you have this distinct feeling of them being behind you. And what if your grandfather smoked cigars? You smell the cigar. And what if your grandmother had certain perfume? You'll smell that perfume. You'll go, oh, they're right here. I know they're right here. Now, I know of someone who passed away. I also smelled her perfume. And it was like it's a Gina Tay. And it's unlike anything that I would smell, certainly. I use essential oils, natural essential oils. But there's nothing wrong with perfume. I'm just saying that I use natural essential oils. And so there's no way that I would smell my own natural essential oils and think that it's her. Because what I smell is Gina Tay, and that's what she used to wear. And so when I smell that smell, I know she's around, Also, if you're, some people are like this. I know I am. The other night, I saw a flashing light on the side, just the side of my vision, and there was no lights on. Curtains were drawn, and there's no. It's part of the dining room. There's no lights there. Everything is dark in that part of the room, and I saw these flashing lights. And when I see flashing lights, I know who it's from. And, it's just another sign. And, it's a difference between if you're sitting by a window and a car drives by, you see a flashing light, or someone's taking a picture and you're seeing a flashing light. It's nothing like that. Because that rolls into the next thing I'm going to mention, orbs. Some people see them. I know I've seen orbs. I've seen them right here in my office. And it's just amazing sight. I didn't see a bunch of them, but I saw one. And oftentimes it's a loved one. You can, speak to them, and you can even, you can even mentally speak to them, and they will hear you. Okay. If you ever encounter that, and if you don't know what orbs is, just Google it. You'll see what an orb is. It's really amazing, but it's nothing like it. There's no feeling like it until you actually encountered it yourself. And so there's so much. I mean, if you have loved ones in spirit that have passed away, I do wish you love, blessings, light, peace, and joy, and healing. Healing is very important. I do healing sessions with people via mediumship to help people have, I don't want to say closure, because you don't want to close the door on your loved ones. And that's, I think for me, when closure comes up, it's just a passe way of saying, moving forward. But you can move forward with your loved ones. you don't have to leave them behind. They certainly don't leave you behind. This I know. I've had many readings with clients who have received messages from loved ones in spirit, and again, they're really amazed. And I have to say, look, they're moving on with you. So you don't have to forget about them. Some people feel like I've heard people say they're dead and gone and buried. No, no, no. The spirit lives on, and they come through, and, if they can come through a medium like myself or someone else, they will come through and they will relay messages to you, letting you know that they're around. Okay. So anyway, thank you for watching this video.